There are monsters that hide in the dark, waiting to prey on those foolish enough to wander too close. These aren't the kinds of creatures you'd find in fairy tales or horror movies. No, these are the kinds of monsters that crawl out from ancient myths and folklore, born from our darkest fear, and they don't play by the rules. They lurk just out of sight, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the world of the deadliest creatures you've never heard of. Each creature has its own terrifying abilities, and its presence is enough to send a shiver down your spine. Let's dive into the horrifying world of these forgotten monsters. Keep watching, because these monsters aren't just the stuff of nightmare, they're the stuff of death. But before we begin, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to us. Thank you. So if you're ready to hear stories that'll make your blood run cold, then join us as we explore the top 10 deadliest monsters you've never heard of. Teu Jaguar. In the heart of the South American jungles lies a predator so fearsome that it makes the most terrifying beast pale in comparison. The Teu Jaguar is a creature born of nightmare, half jaguar, half serpent, and all predator. It slinks through the underbrush, its sleek body moving with deadly grace, its black eyes glowing in the shadows. What sets the Teu Jaguar apart from other monsters isn't just its terrifying appearance. This creature possesses a unique power. It can paralyze its victims with just a single icy gaze. Once you meet the gaze of the Teu Jaguar, your body is no longer your own. You can feel your muscles stiffen, your limbs refusing to obey. As the creature draws nearer, its jaguar half gives it the stealth and agility to strike with lightning speed, while its serpent head allows it to inject deadly venom into your body with a single bite. As you lie helpless, unable to move, it closes in, savoring your helplessness. The Teu Jaguar doesn't kill quickly, it tortures, paralyzing you and leaving you at its mercy. But the most horrifying aspect of this creature isn't just its monstrous form, it's the way it manipulates fear itself. When you face the Teu Jaguar, you're not just fighting a creature of flesh and bone, you're fighting a predator that knows how to control your every emotion. There's no fight, no escape, and certainly no mercy. And the scariest part, no one ever hears your screaming. The jungle swallows them whole, and the Teu Jaguar moves on to its next prey. But Teu Jaguar goes beyond just the physical terror. His very presence is like a dark force of nature, an embodiment of the jungle's primal fury. He's guarding the boundary between the human and the supernatural, and those who cross him pay with their sanity or their lives. With each encounter, Teu Jaguar leaves his victims forever chained, haunted by the memory of his burning eye and the suffocating darkness he brings. Bukavat. There's something especially chilling about a monster that resides in the very waters we depend on. The Bukavat, a hulking creature from the marshlands of Eastern Europe, is a perfect example of this primal fear. Towering over most humans, this creature looks like a grotesque mix between a frog and a giant bull. Its body is thick and bloated, covered in slimy greenish skin and gnarled horn, and its webbed feet create monstrous splashes as it moves through the water. But it's not just its size that makes it terrifying. This monster has the ability to emit a bone-chilling scream that echoes across the marshes, paralyzing anyone who hears it. What makes the Bukavat particularly horrifying is its ruthlessness. It doesn't simply drown its victims, it mauls them, tearing them apart with its powerful jaws and claws. And even if you manage to escape, the scream of the Bukavat haunts you, echoing in your mind like a curse. This monster doesn't just kill, it leaves a part of itself with you, a permanent reminder of the horror that lurks in the marshland. The Bukavat is the swamp's enforcer, turning serene wetland into a terrifying place where no one is safe. Chana. The Chana are Mexico's eerie forest spirits, but don't let their small, childlike appearances fool you. These diminutive beings are as dangerous as any full-sized monster, standing no more than a few feet tall. They might look almost harmless at first, with their gleeful smiles and playful nature. Yet, behind their grinning faces hides a chilling darkness. The Chana are known to lure unsuspecting travelers deep into the forest with illusion, sounds, or even mirages of loved ones. Once they have their victim lost, the real terror begins. Chana don't simply kill outright. They prefer a slow torment. They feed on fear, creating hallucinations that drive their victims mad. Whispers in the dark, rustling leaves that mimic footsteps, shadows moving in the corner of the eye. These are all the Chana games, breaking their victims mentally before they strike. The worst part? Those who survive an encounter with the Chana often find themselves permanently scarred, unable to shake the terror of the forest. They say the forest never really lets you go. That part of your soul is left behind, claimed by these sinister spirits. The Chanakeys turn the wilderness into a realm of pure horror, where no light can pierce their dark game, and no sanity survives their twisted tricks. Coochi Sakona, slit-mouthed woman. The streets of Japan hold their own terror in the form of Coochi Sakona, the slit-mouthed woman, a figure from urban legend. She appears as an ordinary woman in a surgical mask, a common sight in Japan. But when she asks, "Am I beautiful?" her true nature reveals itself. If you're unlucky enough to encounter her, beware. There's no right answer to her question. Beneath her mask, her mouth stretches open from ear to ear, a grotesque, permanent smile carved into her flesh. If you answer no, she lashes out with a pair of scissors, intent on disfiguring or even killing you. If you answer yes, she may spare you, or she may follow up with more questions, trapping you in a game of horror from which there's no escape. It's her twisted sense of beauty and revenge that makes her terrifying. She is said to be the spirit of a wronged woman, condemned to wander the earth, forever seeking validation, but punishing anyone who gives her the wrong answer. The sheer unpredictability of Coochi Sakona makes her a figure of true horror. You never know if she'll let you go or attack without warning, leaving a trail of fear and paranoia in her wake. Every shadowed alley, every quiet street becomes a potential trap, and her smile haunts the minds of those who survive her. She's the kind of monster that makes you afraid to even look her way, knowing that whatever answer you give could seal your fate. The Kurokubi. In the quiet, dimly lit homes of Japan, there's a monster that looks just like anyone else until nightfall. The Kurokubi, a seemingly normal woman by day, reveals her true horror under the cover of darkness. As night descends, her neck stretches, elongating to supernatural lengths, allowing her head to wander freely. With an eerie smile and wide, unblinking eye, the Kurokubi prowls for unsuspecting prey, her head slithering through open windows or creeping around doorways, silently observing her victim. What makes the Kurokubi especially terrifying is her unpredictability. By day, she blends in seamlessly, hiding her monstrous side from everyone, even herself. In some versions of the legend, only when she is asleep does her terrifying transformation begin, moving independently of her control. In some tales, the Kurokubi becomes aware of her nighttime horrors and lives in fear of what she might do while asleep. As a creature that feeds on fear and misery, the Kurokubi thrives in secrecy. She watches her victim, instilling a sense of paranoia as they feel her gaze yet see nothing but shadows. And if she chooses to attack, her elongated neck allows her to reach places others can't, making escape nearly impossible. Her eerie silence, combined with her ability to hide in plain sight, makes her a haunting presence that lingers even when she's not there. The Kurokubi embodies the fear of betrayal, of never truly knowing those around us, even ourselves. Pukwudgie. Hailing from Native American lore, the Pukwudgie is a creature of the forest, a small humanoid with a twisted sense of humor that quickly turns deadly. Standing around 3 feet tall, the Pukwudgie may resemble a small person, but its features are far more human. Its skin is a grayish hue, covered in thorny spikes, and its eyes hold a malevolent gleam that hints at its sadistic nature. To the untrained eye, it may look almost endearing, but that's all part of the Pukwudgie's trap. The Pukwudgie is a master of manipulation, using its ability to create illusion and mimic voices to lure travelers off the path. It may disguise itself as a lost child or mimic the voice of a loved one, drawing people deeper into the forest. Once they're lost, the Pukwudgie reveals its true self, tormenting its victims with tricks that grow increasingly sinister. It may push its victims to the brink of madness, causing them to hallucinate or experience intense paranoia. For the Pukwudgie, fear is a feast, and it relishes every second of its psychological warfare. But if that isn't enough, it has other weapons at its disposal, armed with poisonous darts, sharp claws, and a knack for blending into its surroundings. The Pukwudgie is more than capable of taking down those it deems unworthy trespassers. Those who encounter a Pukwudgie are left haunted by the encounter, forever wary of the whispers in the forest. It's a monster that makes the woods feel alive with malevolent intent, turning the beauty of nature into a nightmare. Windigo. The Windigo, a creature from Algonquin folklore, is the embodiment of starvation, greed, and cannibalism. Towering and emaciated, with skin stretched tight over its bones and eyes that burn with an insatiable hunger, the Windigo is more spirit than flesh, yet capable of immense physical power. It's said to roam the forests of North America, a skeletal figure with clawed hands and a heart as cold as the winter air around it. What makes the Windigo so horrifying is its origins. It's not born a monster, but becomes one through an unspeakable act, cannibalism. Legends say that when a person succumbs to the desperate temptation to eat human flesh, especially in times of starvation, they're cursed to become a Windigo. From that moment on, they're doomed to roam endlessly, consumed by a hunger they can never satisfy. It doesn't simply eat, it devours, consuming its prey's flesh and even their very soul. The Windigo embodies the terror of losing control to our darkest impulses, transforming into something that exists only to cause suffering. Its gaunt frame is deceptively strong, and it's said that no matter how much it eats, it only grows hungry, with each kill making it larger and more ravenous. For anyone who finds themselves hunted by a Windigo, there's little hope. Its very presence freezes the air, numbing both body and mind. The Windigo isn't just a monster, it's a force of nature, a reminder that sometimes the real terror comes from what lies within. Yarm Yahu. In the dense Australian outback, under the sweltering sun and among the twisted trees, lurks a creature that preys on the unsuspecting. The Yarm Yahu. This small red frog-like creature may seem almost comical at first, with its oversized mouth and suction cup fingers, but don't let its appearance fool you. The Yarm Yahu is a predator with a horrifying method of feeding that will leave even the bravest souls uneasy. The Yarm Yahu doesn't hunt in the traditional sense. Instead, it waits patiently in the tree, dropping down on any passerby who wanders too close. With its suction cup fingers, it drains just enough blood to weaken its prey, then swallows them whole. But that's not the end of its horrifying process. After digesting its victim, it regurgitates them, alive but chained. With each encounter, the victim becomes shorter, redder, and more monstrous, slowly transforming into a Yarm Yahu themselves. What's terrifying about the Yarm Yahu is its methodical nature. It doesn't kill outright, but rather reshapes its victims into something like itself over time, trapping them in a cycle of consumption and transformation. The Yarm Yahu turns the outback into a feeding ground where every step could lead to an agonizing transformation. The fear it instills is primal, a horror that something so small and bizarre could overpower and change you forever. Odze. The Odze, a vampiric creature from West African folklore, is not your typical bloodsucker. It's a shapeshifter, often appearing as a harmless firefly, flickering innocently in the night. But don't be fooled. This tiny glowing insect is the harbinger of death. Once it enters a home, the Odze reveals its true monstrous form and begins to feed, draining the life force of its victims through blood or energy. What makes the Odze terrifying is its cunning. It can slip through the tiniest crack, entering homes undetected, choosing its victims with care. Unlike other vampires that rely on brute force, the Odze preys on the vulnerable, especially children and the weak. Its presence is often accompanied by unexplained illnesses or wasting away, as it slowly saps the life from its prey. Those it spares become haunted forever, fearing the flicker of a firefly in the night. The Odze embodies the fear of invasion, of something small yet deadly infiltrating the safety of the home. In its human form, it can be cruel and manipulative, blending in with society to spread its curse even further. The Odze is a reminder that not all monsters are large and obvious. Some slip through unnoticed, hiding in plain sight until it's too late. Monong. The Monong is a horrifying creature from Filipino folklore, and it's unlike anything you've ever imagined. By day, she's a normal woman, but as nightfall, her true form is revealed. In a gruesome transformation, the Monong separates her upper body from her lower half, sprouting bat-like wings as she takes to the sky, hunting for human prey. Her favorite target? Pregnant women and the unborn, whose hearts and fetuses she consumes to maintain her youth and power. What makes the Monong so terrifying is her blend of human and inhuman features. She's a literal split personality, a creature that transforms into a nightmare when darkness falls. Her appetite for unborn children and her ability to slip through open windows mean that no one is truly safe. Once she's fed, the Monong returns to her lower half to rejoin, resuming her disguise as an ordinary person. But the true horror of the Monong is her hunger. She's driven by an insatiable need that makes her relentless, and her ability to blend into society means she could be anyone waiting to strike. The Monong turns the night into her playground, and with each new victim, she grows stronger. This creature embodies a primal fear of betrayal and of an unknown predator hiding in plain sight, making her one of the most terrifying figures in folklore. Marvelous verdict. These monsters aren't just nightmare. They're creatures born from the darkest corners of human imagination, with power, cunning, and an insatiable hunger for fear. Each one preys on a different aspect of our deepest terror, whether it's the psychological torment of the Chanake or the relentless hunger of the Windigo. These creatures remind us that the things we fear the most often live in the shadows, waiting for us to make the wrong move. Which of these deadly beings would you fear most? Let us know in the comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tale. Keep the lights on. The monsters are closer than you think.